Yeah, a life lesson that's come from the kind of music that I'm playing. I think it's I think the big thing is that you, regardless if you are in the capacity of a performer, a teacher, whatever it may be, is always try to maintain being the student at some level. That's huge for me. I think one reason that I've still managed to see jumps just in my playing, just every couple years I kind of look back on things and think, oh, I'm a little bit ahead from where I was. I'm kind of doing a couple of other things as well. Is I've always maintained this feeling of still being a student, and I found that as soon as I get rid of that and think I'm more accomplished than I am, I start resting on my laurels and I stop really believing that there are higher levels to go. And I think it sounds very strange because it sounds like we're talking about ego death a lot today, but it kind of is one of those things. But yeah, especially within the world of jazz, I think jazz especially is about embodying a lifestyle. The music is a lifestyle. You don't just kind of get out of music college and you've got all your scales down and then you're set, you're fine. You don't have to think about it or practice it or listen to it anymore. I had I had a teacher when I was about 15 or 16 when I started playing jazz. I lived over in Europe as a kid. A brilliant, brilliant jazz guitarist. And he was very kind of morally absolutist about certain things. So he was like, and he gave me great advice that stuck with me to this day. But he would say things like, as soon as you stop listening to music as a jazz player, you die. And I was like 15, 16 being like, oh my word, you die? Is that what happens? And I don't know whether it's just a lost in translation moment or whatever it might have been, but it was a life lesson in a way, which is always maintain being the student, regardless of how good you get, regardless of the work that you put in. Always maintain that you are the student, that you've got something to learn in any occasion as well. And I know there's a really nasty stereotype with a lot of kind of high level jazz players, and I think a lot of people look at them as being kind of musical snobs in a way, that they won't explore other kinds of music, or that they stay within their field and they can only appreciate stuff that's really super cerebral. But I think you have to maintain that open mind sort of scenario and think, actually, I can learn from anything that's here. I can learn from country guitar players. I can learn from piano players even. Doesn't even have to be guitar. I can learn from vocalists, whatever it may be, even like solo violin or xylophone. But yeah, just maintaining the curiosity to continue learning, I think has been huge. It really has been. And the main thing being, as soon as you make that your lifestyle, it's so much better for you, headspace wise. I think you ask different questions of yourself as well when you accept that it's a lifestyle. It's a continual learning process. It's a continual keep up to date. Yeah.